Ready to learn how to make your Hoya happy and flower even? It smells so good too. And the nectar? They are so beautiful. They come in many different colors, shapes, and sizes. So my main tip is lots of light, lots of patience, and regular fertilizer. That's usually what I say. Now, I've had a lot of people in the comments being like, my plant has been growing for 6 years but hasn't flowered yet. And that's really frustrating and also really common. Mainly because the plant does need to be mature before it can flower, which can take several years. Hoya like a lot of light, especially ones with thicker leaves, like this beautiful outer variegated Hoya obovata. They are succulent leaves, so they can take a lot of light. Now, there are also Hoya with much thinner leaves, like this one. This is a multiflora wonderfill, but they can still take quite a bit of sun, and they will show you if it's too much. So I always try to give more, and then if it's too much, bring it down a little bit, but lots of light will help them grow faster and flower quicker. You can use general houseplant fertilizers, but they are more for leaf growth. If you want flowers, you can switch it up to a blooming fertilizer, or you can find a orchid fertilizer, because they are specifically for getting nice flowers. The soil, a chunky soil mix, which is good for the air circulation in the roots, or semi-hydro. So it's really up to what you prefer. Then watering. In general, Hoya like to dry out a little bit. They are epiphytes, so they don't want to be suffocated by water. Another important thing for Hoya is support. Many of them do really well on a trellis. It gives them support like they would in the jungle when they're climbing up trees. They don't need whole moss poles, just something so that their tendrils can grab on. So first, what a plant does is it grows a tendril with a little weird side thing. This is called a peduncle, and it is the first sign that your plant is ready to start blooming. But not really. So they often grow a little peduncle like this first that doesn't do anything. It doesn't grow buds, which is the next step normally. It just sits there. And in my explanation of this is that it is testing out the waters. And then usually it grows another peduncle at some point, and that one does start to grow buds. I don't know why, but often for me, the first ones just never do anything except for my Hoya Matilda, which was a very fast one. When it is ready, it will start to grow buds at the end here. In here, you can see little buds. See them? So that's what will happen. They will start to bud up. And very often, this first budding up, you are so excited. You've waited for a peduncle. You got one peduncle, didn't do anything. Second one, finally budding up. Then bud blast. They will fall off, all of them. And you're like, what did I do wrong? Nothing. It is, in my experience, again, the plant testing out the environment. Is it safe for me to flower here? Is it a good condition? And if it is, then it will try again, and then the flowers might actually open. Bud blast can also happen from pests or getting too dry, especially the winter bloomer ones. They don't want to get too dry. For example, Polynura, Hoya bella, and Linearis. All of them prefer it a little bit less bright and cooler. So I like to grow them in the north-facing windows of my house. And also a bit more regular watering. I've also seen pests, especially mealybugs and thrips on the flowers, just having a feast on everything around it, so that doesn't help them open. If they finally continue to get thicker and thicker and you're like, they're almost gonna open, I highly recommend maybe getting an old phone to put up for a time lapse, because it is so satisfying to see. I've had a few that were quite small and maybe a little bit disappointing, but then sometimes they do smell amazing. And there's also some that become much bigger than this one, but I don't grow many of those species, or at least I don't have them in a mature form, because they sometimes need to be quite a bush before they get those almost as big as your hand flowers. It's crazy. They are the perfect little stars. They're usually 5-shaped stars, but you can sometimes get a 4 one, which is extra special. And very often on many plants, they open first, and that's my favorite moment. They are so pretty, little perfect stars. And then it's called reflex. The leaves fold backwards, and actually they look a little bit less pretty then, in my opinion. The Matilda doesn't do that, so this one just stays like a little perfect star. But I always try to take pictures when they haven't reflexed yet on other Hoya, because that's the moment where I'm like, oh, I love you so much. There are many Hoya accounts that you can find on social media where you can see time lapses of flowers opening, or just people sharing all their beautiful flowers that they have. And it definitely helps to know what the flowers look like if you're interested in growing them for flowers as well as the leaves. There's many different scents that Hoya can have, from butterscotch and caramel to lemon. There's amazing smells, and also some that are not so nice. My favorite smelling one is Hoya lacunosa or croniana. It's a really fresh smell, and also it's a very easy one to grow for flowers. And another very cool thing about Hoya flowers, and which is why they're called wax plants in many languages as a common name, is that the flowers grow a nectar on each of the little flowers that can drip down, and that you can taste. It's really sweet. It tastes like more watery honey. A few things about nectar. First of all, if you are tasting, make sure that it is a freshly open plant or a happy looking flower, because sometimes when they're older, the nectar goes really funky. It's not good. And then also, if there are pests on there, be careful. You don't want to taste pests rather than nectar. And then there's a few Hoya, I think especially this one, but a few species that grow flowers that get so much nectar, and especially some of them have red nectar that drips down, that one of my online Hoya friends cuts all the flowers off. And I get so upset by it, but it drips so much on all her furniture, and I get it. But yeah, they can be horrible. And then some other ones don't grow a lot of nectar at all. Some of them grow like this. This is like a perfect half globe. And then other ones grow the little, I think it's called pedicels, but the little branches on top of the flowers in different ways, so that the flower is basically flat, like on a Hoya linearis. All the flowers are aligned together. And then other ones, again, grow in a perfect full globy shape. So like the whole round thing. And it's so fascinating to me how they're all so different and beautiful. Actually, there are a few species that you can grow for easy flowers, such as Hoya David Cummingi. It is a very easy flowering plant, very easy to grow plant, and easy to get as well, not expensive. And the flowers smell like butterscotch or caramel. Hoya lacunosa or croniana are known to be easy flowers as well. Hoya Matilda is a great one to grow for flowers. My old big Hoya Matilda regular plant, the not variegated one, at some point had 28 flowers at the same time. Of course, the common carnosas are easy to grow and can get beautiful flowers as well. Hoya linearis is a beautiful plant to grow for flowers. Hoya bella are also quite easy to grow and to flower. Someone asked, do you cut the flower off after it's done? No, don't do that, because most of the peduncles can flower again and again and again. This is 1 month later since filming the main video, and you can see here that the Hoya Matilda peduncle is budding up again. So we might get more flowers. Yay! On some species, like this one, if they flower, only flower once and then their peduncles die off. That's a different way of growing, but they will drop them off themselves. So you don't have to never cut the peduncles off, and you will see, is this new growth or is this a peduncle? Like for example here, can you see the little point? Would you say that's a peduncle or a new growth? It is actually new growth, because this is the end of the tendril. And if we look here, there is a peduncle there as well. See a little, it looks basically the same at first, but it's the spot where it's in. The peduncle grows kind of in a different direction than the leaves. Someone asked if I know anything about Hoya pollination, and I personally haven't done it. I have had one plant grow seeds, which is very interesting. But in general, I don't know how you would do that yourself, how to pollinate them. There are other amazing Hoya people on here. Maybe Miro knows, or Adam. Check out their channels. I will link them as well. Oh, there's a little peduncle here. Look, see the little baby point in there? That's gonna make flowers, maybe, if I take good care of this. So I don't know myself. I do know that the seed pods are these really long, like this big, on quite a small plant. So they're quite big. And then fluff comes out like a dandelion with tiny little seeds on it. I have tried to grow those seeds out. It is not easy. I know some of my friends have done it, but in general, Hoya are much easier to grow from a cutting than from a seed. Do Hoya get a setback after they flower? In general, I would say no, not like with aroids, for example, but you do see that it slows down the growth of the leaves while it is in bloom a little bit. So not a setback, but just a little bit of a slowdown. And someone asked how to get more frequent flowers. And I guess regular care, stable conditions will help with that, and regular fertilizer. We often forget that in nature, these plants get everything that they want from where they live. But here, they live in a tiny pot inside a house. So there is no nutrients. And that's what we have to add manually. I'm gonna show you this one last time because it's doing so well right now. Very curious if these other flowers are gonna open as well. It does look like it. The buds keep becoming a little bit more thick. So I hope this was helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe below if you haven't already, leave a nice comment, and click the bell if you want to get notified about new uploads. Thank you so much. We will see you in the next one. Bye, friends!